I want to get back to big global issues now, and it's a big weekend ahead for China's leadership. On Sunday, some 2,300 officials will meet in Beijing at the Communist Party Congress. Yes, they'll all be members of one party. They'll be there to reaffirm Xi Jinping's position as China's paramount leader for a controversial third term. Having abolished presidential term limits back in 2018, Xi's almost guaranteed re-election will only tighten his grip on power and accelerate China's path towards permanent dictatorship. Occurring only once every 5 years, this meeting will also see a leadership reshuffle within the broader governing bodies of the Chinese leadership. Joining me now to unpack all this is the Australian's North Asia correspondent, Will Glasgow, joining us from Taiwan. Good to talk to you, Will. Tell us how much of what's going to unfold on Sunday is already known, is already a set-piece drama, and how much do you think you're going to have to unpick as events unfold?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, this is a Chinese Communist Party event, so I guess we have to begin with the caveat that hangs over all of this stuff. It operates in a black box. We know what they let us know. That's even more the case in the Xi Jinping era, where he's tightened up the rules on spilling the party's secrets and the ability for reporters to find out what happens in these things much more than in previous eras. So there's a lot of mystery about all this, but one thing that's not mysterious is Xi Jinping will be the General Secretary of the Communist Party after this meeting, right? I mean, they have signalled that so clearly all on the way up. If that didn't happen, it would be the most shocking development in Chinese politics, right? Going into this meeting, he's the dominant figure in Chinese politics, the most dominant figure in the 21st century. And coming out of this meeting, he'll be the most dominant figure in Chinese politics.
Explain to us, Will, how this works, because we know that Xi is a dominant, powerful figure. We know he's changed the posture of China in the region and globally, and we know that he's secure, possibly for life, as the Chinese leader. How does he enforce that power? Is it by having henchmen around him? Is it the threat of force? Is he just supremely diplomatic? What is it that keeps him in this position of almost uncontested power?
Yeah, well, his leadership's been, he's in a moment of, it's been described as supreme power right now, uncontested, no visible opposition of any, that's in any way meaningful, no end to his rule, no date on it. I mean, it ends when he loses, that position. He's an incredible political animal, whatever else you say of him. He understands the Chinese Communist Party system, like no one else. I mean, he is just an incredible Communist Party politician. He became the General Secretary in 2012, right? So that's 2 party congresses ago. When he took that job, it had been long signalled that he would be the next leader. That was what the rules used to be. And the expectations there was that he would continue with following the conventions. He would do 2 terms and hand over. But at the last of his party congresses 5 years ago, the big shock of that meeting was there was no announcement of a successor. It was made very clear he wasn't going anywhere. And so that was the profound shock in Chinese politics. How did he do it? Well, purging, Chris. I mean, he became dominant by purging at a scale that's just not happened since the Mao era.
Yeah, you can dissent. You can issue a word of dissent, but it'll be a last word. Charming indeed. Just very briefly, Will. Then after Sunday, does China become even more assertive on the world stage?
Well, I think it's going to be pretty much business as usual, to be honest. I mean, the big change in China happened 4 or 5 years ago, and we've seen what that looks like. It's a much more confident, much more assertive China on the international stage that cares a lot less about how, the criticism that comes, particularly from liberal democracies. And that's going to continue after this meeting. We're going to see that when Xi returns to the world stage at the Bali G20 leaders. Prime Minister Albanese is going to get to encounter that in person, I guess.
Indeed. Great to talk to you, Will. Thanks for those insights.
Thanks.